Golf is hard, especially when you're just starting out and don't really know where to begin with a swing at all. In this video, we're going to cover the 5 basic steps that beginners need to know when starting out to play golf. Welcome to Sam Roberts Golf, and if you like golf content, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and a like would go a long way as well. Let's jump right in. First, let's start with grip, because if you don't know how to hold on to the golf club, the swing doesn't even matter then at that point. There are 3 main types of grips that you can have when playing golf. Those are the interlock grip, the overlap grip, or what most beginners prefer, the baseball grip. Now, I can't guarantee home runs like the Yankees though, so don't sue me. To find which grip is most comfortable for you, you're going to take your non-dominant hand, put it at the bottom of the club just like this. You're going to take your other hand, your dominant hand, put it right on top of it. Now you can try each of the 3 different grips, and whatever is most comfortable for you is going to be ultimately what is going to help your game the most. You want to be comfortable in your swing. Personally, I use the baseball grip. When gripping the club, it is important to note that your thumbs are going to run down the shaft. They might even cross over a little bit and make a nice little V between your fingers and your thumb here, both hands. Ultimately, you just want to find a grip that is very comfortable, and especially when you are standing over the ball. If it's not comfortable, it'll make the swing a lot harder in general. Another important part of grip is to understand if your hands are actually aligned correctly, because you may have a good grip, but your club face may be wide open, just like that. So what you want to do is put the club down on the ground and grip it like you normally would. Then what you want to do after that is, if you think you have a square grip, take it up over your head and then hold it out in front of you. If it is square still, as in aimed where you wanted to go, which in my case would be to my left here, that means you have a good grip. If you come up and do that and it's open or it's closed, then that means you need to adjust the rotation of your hands. Ultimately, using that to help align your hands at the beginning is going to make alignment a lot easier across the board. Now, we're going to get into alignment later as well, but for now, that is how you align your grip and make sure that your hands are actually on the club and are square with your club. As Huey Lewis said, it's hip to be square. I stepped back a little bit now because we're going to talk about balance. Balance is very important in the golf swing, because if you're not balanced, it looks like you're just trying to do parkour with a golf club, which doesn't normally end well unless you're a professional. I'm not. Anyway, balance is very important, because if you're not balanced over your swing, you can fall forward after you swing or fall backwards. It can lead to a lot of different issues, which makes balance very important in your golf swing. When you stand over a ball, you want to have your knees slightly bent, and you want the balance right behind your toes, right in the balls of your feet. And what that's going to do is put you into what's called an athletic stance. Then when you go back, you want your weight to shift back to your back foot, and then as you come back down, rotate into your front foot, shifting that weight at the same time. What that's going to do is that's going to create power in the golf swing, and that's going to help you come through the speed zone a lot faster as well, what's called the speed zone. But it's very important to stay balanced. Because of this will help you not swing too hard or too soft, because if you have a nice balanced swing, you should be able to hold your finish until your ball lands. If you are not able to hold your finish until your ball lands, then that means you need to work on balance. Probably just because of swing speed, but it could also be that you're putting the balance in your weight in the wrong part of your foot. So again, to run over the basic stance with good balance is feet shoulder width apart, knees slightly bent, and bend over at the hips. All right, don't hunch your back. Keep your back straight at the bottom, and then you're good. You want your spine to be pretty straight. Your head might go a little lower than your spine, but you want it to be fairly straight. And then you want to make sure you have good balance. If you can wiggle your toes without falling over, you're probably doing pretty well. And then you want to swing back, shifting a little bit of weight back to your back foot, and then going forward, shifting the weight forward to your front foot as well. Almost to where at your end, you A, can hold your balance until the end, and B, you can even pick this foot up without falling over as well. Overall, balance is very important in the swing, and if you don't have balance, the rest of the swing doesn't even matter at that point. Next up, we have tempo. Tempo is very important in your golf swing because if you're swinging too fast, that can affect your balance. And it can affect where the ball goes as well. Being a musician and a singer, tempo is my favorite part of the swing, right? So, when you're standing over the ball about to swing, you want to have a good, even tempo as you're swinging. So because I'm a singer, I think in beats per minute. So how I swing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And that helps me with my tempo. Now, tempos of the average tempo of the PGA Tour is around 74 beats per minute, if I'm not mistaken. So there's no need to swing really hard and try to just kill the ball every time. If you can control your tempo, you'll lead to more consistent shots and it will go farther as well. A lot of times when I'm at the range, I'll pull out my phone and I'll actually use a metronome, especially earlier in the season, to help establish what a good tempo is for me, especially starting out. It's still cold here, as you can see that I have 2 coats on, so I haven't been able to get out and play. So a lot of times early in the year, I will use the metronome to really kind of lock in what rhythm and what tempo really works for me. So right now I actually have my metronome set to 72. So here, I'll play that real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. And honestly, that's even a little fast right now. So what I'll do is when I'm at the range, I'll have an earbud in, listening to that, or I'll either find songs that match that tempo as well, and just practice that and count off 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Now, if you're just a beginner starting out, there is nothing wrong with even hitting 60 BPM. Reason being is there are still some PGA players that go at 60 BPM. Let me slow that down to, here's 60. So a lot slower than the 72 that we were just on. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. And even then, I was a little fast, and it felt like a very slow swing. However, there are still some professionals hitting at 60 beats per minute, so you can definitely hit it far enough at a slower tempo, but it's all about finding what tempo works best for you, what you can control, and is essentially the music to your round as well. And because tempo is so important, I've actually created playlists on Apple Music where I have a 60 BPM playlist, and then I have a 72 BPM playlist as well. Normally I reserve 60 for when it's early out, just like this. I mean, it's still very cold and I need to probably play 60 BPM to get back into my swing. But once I get back into the swing of things, pun completely intended, I normally jump it up to about 72, and that helps me get back into the rhythm. Again, pun intended. Just is a great tool to use, so definitely use your metronome. Next up, let's talk about alignment or aim. When I aim for a specific spot, so let's say I'm aiming for that tree out there, all the way on the left over here. What I'm going to do is stand in line with it and my ball, which imagine that there's a ball here, and I'm going to pick a spot between the ball and the tree, so it'd be right around here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up to that specific spot. So what that does is it doesn't make me rely on having to hit at a target 170 yards away, and rather it helps me align to something only 3 feet away, because chances are I can hit something 3 feet in front of me. Although I do have a couple misses every now and then. I'll get back to you on that one. Anyway, what you want to do is stand between the ball and you, or have the ball between you and the target, and then pick just a spot, just a head, line the club up to that, line your feet up to that. You want your shoulders, hips, feet, and club face to all be square, what's called square with one another. As I said earlier, it's hip to be square. Thank you, Huey Lewis. And another good way to think about this as well is think about it as railroad tracks. So think of the club as the outside rail, and then your feet, shoulders, hips as the inside rail. They should all be parallel with one another, and that's where grip comes back into play too. So if you think you have good alignment, let's say you're on the range practicing, you have an alignment rod, you know your aim is fine, it's got to be something else, do the grip check again, which is just up like this and out in front, and you can even put it back down. If it's still square with your feet and your hips, then it's something else in your swing. However, that's such a good test to figure out if you need to rotate your hands or not. Thinking about it as keeping everything parallel will help get rid of pulls and pushes. Essentially a derailment, much like Purdue basketball in March Madness. Anyway, take your time, line every shot up, because ultimately that's going to help you in the long run. You just can't step up to a ball and just think you're going to hit it exactly where you want to be aimed. You have to take time and line yourself up. Finally, let's tie it all together with body positioning. Now, there are a bunch of different moves that you have to make within your golf swing to make your golf swing actually work correctly. And here are just a few different tips and tricks. I'm not going to go too in depth with this, especially because if you're just starting out, this can be a lot of information. But there are a few keys that you need to know whenever you're starting out. First up is get back into the stance. Shoulder width apart, knees slightly bent at the hips, and the spine as straight as you can get it. To know if your club is a good distance away, because you don't want to be out too far and you don't want to be trapped in, is let your arms just dangle in your stance, and that's where your grip should be. And then that gives you the correct distance for when you're ready to swing. Moving into the swing, your non-dominant hand should be up top, your dominant hand should be on bottom. As you go into the backswing, you want to start with your shoulders. Your shoulders initiate the entire swing, which is important to note. A lot of people like to start with their wrists, but actually you start with your shoulders, which is the same for putting as well. As you go back, you start with the shoulders, go up to here, and you never want your club to go past parallel with the ground. You don't want to be going back here. Unless you're John Daly, that's the only person that can really get away with it and hit it well still. So, you don't want to go back too far. You want to stop as far back as what feels comfortable, and you want to keep your weight on your back foot, as I mentioned earlier, and keep your non-dominant arm straight. You don't want to bend it like this. That's where a lot of baseball players, softball players can get in trouble, is because they will try to bend the elbow. Rather, you want to keep your arm straight, because what that's going to do is make it easier to return right back to where you came from. So, from the top, start with the shoulders, don't go past parallel, left arm straight if you're right-handed, right arm straight if you're left-handed. Now, as you come back down, you want to initiate a little bit with the hips, and then essentially your big spring, and you just want to rotate. You don't want to push, because that's what causes slices. More on that in another video soon. But as you come down, you want to start with your hips and rotate and uncoil everything. The last thing to unbend should be your wrists. You should not do your wrists here. They should be the last thing you have here, because what that's going to do is create spin on the ball. But that's more advanced, and we're just going to focus on the basics. So, left arm straight, uncoil from the hips, starting at the hips, and release into the ball. Now, once you hit here, the fastest part of your swing should be right after you hit the ball. Not at the ball, but after you hit the ball. What that's gonna do is help you follow through. And then to hold your finish, you just wanna come up, all the weight on your front foot, raise up onto your toe here, and then finish where your belly button is pointed towards your target. A couple more important notes that should happen throughout the swing. Your lead foot, AKA your non-dominant foot, should never come off the ground. If you were getting up into your backswing and it's coming up like this, stop right there. It means you're probably going to try to hit it too hard. Rather, the foot should stay on the ground the entire time, even when you follow through. It stays on the ground, it never moves. Another final key for you is your head should not move in your swing. When you go back, you swing and leave your head still and swing through. And your head should not move up to watch where the ball is going until after you get to about here in the swing and after you've hit the ball. Your head should stay completely still until you get to right here. And then you can look up and follow where it's going. Because honestly, you're still gonna see it, even if you take that extra second just to keep your head still a little bit longer. So there you have it. 5 easy little areas to focus on as you're starting to play golf. We talked about grip, balance, tempo, aim, and body positioning. If this video helped you at all, please make sure to hit that like button and comment down below what you struggle with the most on the course. And of course, if you like golf and golf-related content, definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button because it helps a lot more than you think. We'll see you next time. Stay safe and stay healthy, everyone.